Only thing with the White Sox, I say they've been coasting into the playoffs, and Tampa Bay's been having to win. It just depends on who gets hot.
The Philadelphia Eagles do have an opportunity.
To be honest, I thought you were going to say the Atlanta Falcons.
No, fuck no.
Oh God, yeah, that would have been warranted.
Paul George to show up again, and they need Reggie Jackson to be the best point guard left standing outside of Trae Young, who's hurt. You know, one of these times I'm actually going to get the timing right of that the intro. I haven't gotten it in like three times.
Doubt it.
But what's going on, guys? My name is Kyle Davis. That's Keith, and that's T-Bone down below where he belongs.
Yep.
This is MV3. And you know what? This isn't just the college football show this week. This is the college episode, and what's going to be this going forward until probably like bowl season, and we'll do special episodes for college football and all of that. But my knowledge of college basketball is not as much as other sports, so you guys are going to be doing a little bit of the heavy lifting on this one today.
I can do that.
I can do that as well.
Basketball.
How are we feeling after the first night last night?
As a whole, well, let's just go to the Champions Classic, I guess. Duke has the best player in the country. I thought that beforehand.
Who? Which one?
It's been Caro.
I know it's
It's probably Caro. But Keegs is pretty good too, though. But I mean, he is the best in the country. He was supposed to be the best in the country. He could be playing in the NBA right now, and I think he would be if it wasn't for NIL, and he would be on that G League team. Thank God they did the NIL, because a lot of these guys would not be playing college basketball. But imagine if he didn't cramp up last night, what he could have done.
There's 4 or 5 of them that were getting some cramps. Keels was getting
that was weird.
Coach Carroll was getting it.
He's doing his stuff, and nobody's stretching before the game.
I don't know. Get some pickle juice. Get in there.
Yeah,
I mean, as a Duke fan, it's bittersweet because this is the farewell for Coach K. I went to the Champions Classic a couple years ago when it was at the United Center.
That's cool.
Which was the only time I've ever seen Coach K coach.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. In person. So now I saw a couple years ago with Zion and RJ and them beat the shit out of Kentucky, and then we see how that season went. We fell short, and I think the Elite Eight, Sweet 16, Elite Eight, we didn't.
No, I think I know what you're going for. I don't take a lot for. I take minimal stuff. You can tell who's going to be really good in the Champions Classic.
Yeah. But
you're not going to say where the team's going to go from there. It's so minimal of a seed.
Right. So I'm cautiously optimistic.
For sure.
Pancaro looks a lot like how Jason Tatum did at Duke. He's going to dominate college, but his game fits the NBA so much better.
I do agree.
It was really fun to watch.
Style as Tatum either, just so everybody knows.
What?
But he doesn't have the same style as Tatum. But
no, but you could tell on the court that these guys
NBA.
were right.
Yes.
And Tatum started and was okay, you can see where his game's going to translate really well to the NBA. Pancaro's probably already there, and then the other guy, Imani Bates, who's a year younger than everyone, and that guy is ridiculous.
Yeah, he played very well for Memphis last night. I know nobody probably watched them play Tennessee Tech last night, but
no,
I didn't either. But I looked at his stat line because you have to go look at it just because of who he is.
Yeah, and I mean, I lived in Ann Arbor, which he went to Ypsilanti Prep or something like that, which is the city over, right next to where I lived. So I watched.
Supposed to go to Michigan State, wasn't that the big?
I believe so. And then he decommitted, and then he never recommitted, and then he reclassified.
Yeah.
Not that long ago.
Yeah.
I watched Imani Bates probably a half dozen times in high school. That guy.
Well, when I look at him, I think next Kevin Durant, the way he's lanky, skinny, and he can just score wherever he wants at any point. He doesn't have he almost doesn't have his spots. He can go where he wants.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be. Yeah, I mean, you obviously can't tell anything from him yet, with playing Tennessee Tech. But no, I Duke. I'm actually really high on Kentucky. Like I actually think they figure it out.
Yeah,
they have so much talent. They just haven't put it together really, and that's this. No, it's the first game,
right?
Like,
they look better than most Kentucky teams. Most Kentucky teams are all like slapped together of just the best, the top, like 6 of the top 20 players, and
that's
this team like looks like they got some. Yeah,
has some age to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have just all like it has the 5 stars, but it's not just the 5
It's got some depth. It's got a good mix. Their center, he's either forward or center. The guy had like 14 offensive rebounds.
Shibwe?
Yeah, he had I think early in the second half, he already had 10 offensive rebounds.
Which people don't understand how impressive that is when the front line of Duke is no joke.
Mark Williams, Griffin.
No joke.
I mean, Pinheiro's like a wing/forward, depending how they want to play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not only like Duke. I mean, it's just high level competition, and this guy's getting 13, 14 offensive rebounds. It's ridiculous. It was very impressive.
I've said I like both teams. I think they're both back. Like last year was a joke for both of them. They were literally both jokes.
Yeah.
And I think they're both back. They're both top 15 teams for me. One of them, I think they're going to be around each other the whole year. I mean, if you saw them play each other in March, I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
But I like both the teams. I think they both have crazy depth. Duke, too. I mean, they got depth because they had a bunch of guys cramping up, having to go out the game, and they kind of made more of a lead when those guys went out.
Yeah. Yeah, they were rotating multiple guys in, and they kept building a lead.
Right. Yeah. So that was great. The other game, Kansas.
Yeah.
Michigan State.
Michigan State's in a lull.
Yeah, Michigan State. I actually bet Kansas last night because Michigan State always starts slow. Michigan State is they got a brand new backcourt. It's supposed to be so much better. Again, I'm not going to say anything from him, but they did not look good. They just didn't look good. They have freshmen that look pretty good. He hit a couple threes.
Right.
Joey Hauser, Wisconsin kid, he is there. He might be their best player, and I think that might be a problem.
It might be a big problem because
he was
never the best player in Marquette. He was never the best player on Marquette.
Right. I like the Hausers, but he might be their best player. So I don't know. Michigan State will get better as well, but I'm really impressed with Kansas. Really impressed with Kansas. I think Kansas out of those 4 teams might be the best one from last night.
One big thing that I'll mention is that what it says there. I mean, you're not getting a full product of what these teams are going to be the first game, the second game, the third game. You're probably looking at like 3 weeks before you start seeing what these teams are actually going to be.
With teams, you might not even figure it out until conference play, and that's January.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
because I mean,
early losses, Matt, I would say not when you're losing, there's games this week, like the Champions Classic when 2 big teams play each other. Mm-hmm. Also this week, Friday night, Villanova's playing UCLA. Saturday, Texas is playing Gonzaga. If you lose those games in November, that means nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely.
The games that do matter a little bit is if like a top 10 team drops to like not even like a good unranked team, but like a nobody team.
If you want me to give an example, last night there was some bad losses, especially in the ACC, and the only ranked team to lose was Virginia, who lost to Navy at home and did not score a point for the last 8.5 minutes.
Akron almost beat Ohio State too.
Correct. Yes, but when you lose those games, that's the loss that I think matters. Like a Virginia losing to Navy hurts because last year, I know it was the COVID season, they lost to San Francisco, like the second game of the year.
Well,
and then you saw what happened to them at the end of the year.
Right.
Pitt dropped a game to the Citadel.
Pitt is horrific. I actually bet the Citadel last night. I'm serious. I swear
I bet the Citadel.
I swear to God.
Oh, that just hurts to hear.
I went 6-2 last night.
You didn't feel good about that, did you? You didn't feel good about betting the Citadel.
I promise you I did. Pitt is horrible.
Slipser didn't happen.
They are. I'm gonna send it over in the group chat.
All right.
But the Pitt is probably.
I beat it by 15. It wasn't even close.
It was. I was watching the game too because of it, and it was 29-7 the Citadel.
Just another big game.
In the
Well,
big game.
not big team, but they're what would be a Power 5 team
Pitt
in
was favored by
football.
10.5. I mean,
Nebraska dropped a game to Western Illinois.
Didn't bet Western Illinois.
I wouldn't recommend that.
That one I
wouldn't bet Nebraska either.
Nebraska can't get out of their own way, so that loss matters to them. You can't lose to Western Illinois at home. Start there. You just can't if you're in the Big Ten. Big Ten is loaded this year.
Oh yeah, it is.
You cannot lose to Western Illinois as a Big Ten team.
I love it.
I think one thing I will mention is about the game, the big game that happened last night. I saw it somewhere and I have to bring it back up. The stat line for Duke's 3-point percentage. What did they hit? Like 2 threes in the entire game, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
I mean, but that is still impressive. Like that, to win the game like they did, that stuff's impressive.
They made one 3. My apologies. Right. Is that reason for concern for Duke, or is that just something that'll start gelling down the road? Because I mean, Duke the last few years has never been predicated on the 3-point ball anyway.
No, they are. That's been the fucking problem. The difference.
Well, the Zion team couldn't shoot 3-pointers either.
That's not entirely true. RJ and Zion couldn't shoot the threes.
That's fair.
Like, so the point, like, some of their worst 3-point shooting years are when they have the most NBA ready players. Like, Pincaro looks to be the next guy, like probably top 5 pick. If I think
one.
Him or Bates. I mean,
I'm taking Pincaro 1 because of his size.
Right. The RJ Zion years, they didn't shoot, but they had a multitude of good scorers. The Tatum year, I think Grayson Allen was still on the team, but I think that was his junior year when he was a little pussy. So
hey, don't you talk shit about Grayson Allen?
Yeah, I love Grayson.
We are great. We are a Grayson Allen podcast.
Grayson,
I'm the Duke fan. I love Grayson Allen more than anyone.
Like if it wasn't for him right now, oh man!
When he got traded to the Bucks, I was so pumped.
Shit.
I was ecstatic when he got traded to the Bucks.
Me
too. Do you know what it was like trying to defend that man after he was tripping people? Wild. Worst.
He's very similar to like players that are also on the Bucks. Pat Connaughton,
Does anybody
Dante DiVincenzo.
Why? Because they're white.
No, because they're scrappy kids that play scrappy defense.
They're white kids who play D and shoot threes. I get it. They're scrappy white kids. That's the thing about Duke. They don't have any scrappy white kids.
He has not been dirty at all.
No, they definitely don't. You always usually have. You usually always have that like antagonist on Duke's team as well. You usually do.
Okay, sorry. We have Joey Baker. We have the token white kid, Joey Baker. Before him was Alex O'Connell. Then we had Luke Kennard, Grayson Allen, JJ Redick. I can keep going, but
you can. Yeah, it's a full.
We haven't got one of them because Joey Baker only played like 12 minutes.
Yep.
So does the threes bother you in March?
No, not
I think it really should.
It does. It does come back to get you in March, but I don't think they're going to shoot as bad as they did.
But they probably have They probably have the best backcourt in the country.
Yeah,
who's matching up against Keel and Roach? Nobody.
A good 3-point shooting team.
Yeah, but but those two, Keel.
Some team comes out and hits fucking 15, 16 threes.
But that's the thing. Keel's thing, he dropped like 25 last night. His thing was never. That wasn't what he's here for. His thing is perimeter defense. He locks down people on the perimeter. And Roach is just a little. He's a little Roach. He's a little pest.
Roach is a great defender too.
He is a good defender.
Yeah, right. They're both great perimeter defenders, and I'm gonna take my bet that Pincaro figures it out if he has to guard a guy who can take him off the dribble or shoot threes.
And that's why I think Duke still has a really good opportunity, regardless, because they one have the talent, and two, their defense was really good against Kentucky.
It was
I think that they're both going to make a deep run, in my opinion.
In my
opinion. But in March, it's all about matchups. If Duke came with a hot shooting mid-major team that literally hits 15 threes a night, you could have a problem. But anybody could have a problem with them.
Right. I mean, you can run into the Steph Currys in the mid-majors or the CJ McCollums as Duke has. And
they haven't shown up yet. It's the first day of the season. So
right.
We don't really have a good shape of the country yet for college basketball, but kind of coming out of the gate, who are your player of the year candidates?
So
I think Amani Bates is going to be near the top of that list.
Surprisingly, he's not. Like,
yeah,
for the Wooden Award, I should preface.
You got to throw
Timmy.
So,
yeah,
I think Chet's going to be near it.
So Timmy's is number 1 at plus 45 or 450. Yep. Pencaro's plus 750. Johnny Juzang from UCLA is plus 1,000.
I should just put Pencaro right now.
That's what I said. Connor Gillespie is plus 1,200. Hunter Dickinson from Michigan is 1,200. Kofi Cockburn from Illinois is 1,200. Let's see, where is Bates? Bates is plus 3,000, which isn't an awful bet.
Not a terrible play.
Some notable Scottie Pippen Jr. plus 4,000,
which is great. His team is not good. He is literally the team. So I mean, I guess they made a run, some wild stuff. Like they made.
Where's Amani Bates? Oh, I said plus 3,000.
Yeah. I'm all on Pencaro though.
The other, I mean,
and they want to give the Wooden Award to a guy. Like they would love to give it to Duke this year with Coach K and everything going on. They would love to do that.
Do you have those odds up? Is Pat Baldwin somewhere in there?
No way he is. I did watch their game last night though.
How do you look? I didn't. I was going to watch the highlights.
Struggled in the first half, but like UWM has like made some transfers. They're big inside all of a sudden, and he adds to that. But he can pop out and shoot. So the second half, they just didn't. North Dakota they played last night, and they just didn't have enough bodies big enough to cover all those guys. And Baldwin just went to work, and he had 21 and 10 after starting 2 for 7.
Well, and the thing is that he's gonna look like a really good basketball player for two reasons. One, he is a really good basketball player, and two, he's in the Horizon League.
I mean, I love him at UWM because it gets me back into UWM basketball.
Very true.
There's something to watch. That's why I turned it on last night. They win by 15.
Plus 12,000.
Away. He's on there though.
Yeah, he is on there though. Okay.
Wendell Moore is plus 25,000.
Some other notable names that I'm looking on this list. You have multiple people from UCLA, Juzang and Jamie Jacques.
Yeah,
Jacques.
I think Juzang has a good chance. Last night, Ridley that's their 6'9" big dude who's really good for UCLA went down. He had an MRI on his knee. They think it might be bad. If you lose a player like that, Juzang has to then step up and do even more.
Right.
Actually help him in that setting. So that's another name.
I think somebody who's going to be near the top who was having a really good end to his last season is Kofi Cockburn from Illinois. He was starting to really heat up and really start getting into that spotlight.
He suspended the first 3 games though.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't think it's a big deal either.
I don't think it's a big deal because they generally look at averages instead of like total scoring. It's not as much like college football where if you miss one game, you could be out of the Heisman immediately.
You're right.
But I'm kind of just perusing the rest of this list, and obviously,
that's not a bad one either.
Yeah. They have somebody from Oral Roberts on this preseason top 50.
The guard, right?
Max
Ames. Yeah.
Sure. We'll get these names eventually because we're going to watch a lot of college basketball throughout this.
They got smacked yesterday by Colorado State.
Kyle and I were talking a little bit about Gonzaga before you hopped on.
Yeah.
I like Gonzaga. He doesn't.
Are we talking about national? I'll give you my Final Four too, as we can roll.
Oh, you got a Final Four already? I got Duke. I got Duke and Gonzaga in it. I got Duke and Gonzaga in it.
I have Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga just too much talent. I don't know if they'll win it, but I have them there. And then my other 3 are a bit different than anyone. But after this was before last night though. So I might switch it up. It's either Kentucky or Kansas, and I think I might have Kansas at this point. I mean, they look unbelievable. And Wilson didn't even play for them last night. He's suspended. So, like, they're getting a guy who was the starter last year that was really, really good too. And their guards have gotten better, and McCormick's back in the middle. That team is just scary. I really, really think they can run the table in the Big 12 with Baylor falling a bit. They've lost everything from that national.
You're talking Texas, correct?
I love Texas as well. I'm talking about.
I know.
Texas was actually my other pick to be in the Final Four.
Yeah,
they're another team. Like I like that top two in the Big 12 a lot this year. Texas and Kansas. Texas has transfer, and they got Chris Beard as their coach. No offense to Shaka Smart because he's Marquette's coach, and I love Marquette, but Chris Beard's better than Shaka Smart.
A team that I can see really competing, and not only competing, matching up very well against Duke is the team that's playing right now, 24-13 over Buffalo, and that's Michigan.
TV. Yes.
Michigan
I have it up on my TV.
I think Michigan's one of those good 3-point shooting teams that's going and very well coached. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't they retain a lot of their players from last year?
They're one of their starting guards and Hunter Dickinson.
Hunter Dickinson is
and they got a couple. They have I think they have a top 5 recruiting class. Like
they do
for this year. Like they got younger. And they have 2 veterans who are.
I'll say about Juwan Howard, I'm not sold on him as a coach. I'm sold on him as a recruiter.
Well, that's fine.
That's fine because I mean he's closer to John Calipari than he is like Coach K, which I don't think that's. I hate Cal, but that's not a bad thing.
So not to jumpstart like talking into football because we're not moving to football yet, but like I feel like head coaches in any sport is more a reflection on who their either coordinators are or their assistants are. Like, yeah, basketball, it matters a lot more who the head coach is, but like that's the face of who's going to recruit. And then it's a matter of when you get to recruit somebody, do you have the coordinators that are going to put you in the right position? Like I use Ed Orgeron as the example all of the freaking time. He is not a good head coach, in my opinion.
He's a good coordinator.
He had phenomenal coordinators that year when they had Burrow and Jefferson, Chase.
Yeah, Joe Brady?
Just a stupid recruit class.
That recruit you had.
Burrow was a transfer, but still, it was
because Chase was LSU too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You could have back-to-back Rookie of the Year, basically, because I'm calling Justin Jefferson the Rookie of the Year last year, even though he didn't.
Yeah. That offense had Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Joe Burrow.
Ridiculous. That's
and
arguably
their defense had some stars.
They were the best offense of all time until Alabama played the next year.
Wasn't Delpit their safety too?
Yeah, Delpit was the safety. I think they had Patrick Queen on that team, who was the starting linebacker.
That team was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough. That is one of the most loaded teams I've ever seen.
Yeah, that offense is loaded because all 4 of their 4 starting skill positions are all in the NFL. Starting.
They were first round picks too.
So let's put this on the table. Who do we root for? Obviously, T-Bone's a Dookie.
Marquette.
Yeah.
I lean Marquette. If it's Marquette, Wisconsin, I lean Marquette.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
I hate Wisconsin.
I have a side with UWM though.
Same.
Yeah, if they're the best team in Wisconsin, that's fucking cool. Like I don't.
Yeah,
they will be. They will be.
They probably will be. Like I don't have anything against them. Does
UWM play either Wisconsin or Marquette this year?
They usually play one of them. They might play Green Bay. Usually the 4 of them kind of rotate.
They play Green Bay twice because they're in the same conference.
Oh, no shit.
Right.
Yeah. I think they usually vice versa. Like Green Bay plays Marquette, and then
they play
like that.
Green Bay
Wisconsin
next.
Yeah,
like they're not like Wisconsin's next game is Green Bay.
Yeah, I don't. UWM like loaded up their schedule though this year for
good reason.
Reason.
Let me look.
Go to Florida next week at Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
If that's on a major network, I'm finding it.
Next Thursday at Florida, and then they go to Colorado in December. They're trying to load it up, but yeah, they don't play any of the in-states this year. I just looked.
Yeah, I was working on it. They get Eastern Kentucky. What is that? The 13th Saturday, and then 1 week from tomorrow they get Florida at Florida, and then they have Colorado on the schedule, which is not really.
Game.
It'll be a good game
for them. It's a good game.
Yes, I'm looking down their entire schedule. That's their 2 big games this year. It looks like. Yeah, Colorado. They get Rhode Island, and Rhode Island generally makes the tournament.
They're on the downward, though.
Yeah. And I mean,
but still, another could get like you compare it to other non-conference schedules of EWM, it's not even close. Like this is
okay, but like this team is not good.
Ooh, it looks like Matt Faraci's watching. What's
Who's
up,
up,
Matt? How we doing?
Like,
who's not good?
The fucking Badgers, bro.
They're not good.
What are they going to start? They're going to start one. They're going to start one of the Davis brothers, correct?
Yes.
Brad Davidson.
Yep. How many years has he been in college?
I feel like he's been in college for like 6 years.
He's a senior. I think
he's a super senior.
But then what? Probably Hepburn. You're probably going 3 guards.
Matt, by the way, congratulations on holding that trophy again.
Yeah, you pussy. I didn't see any cool shots, bro. Get better.
I was looking for you the entire time that celebration was going down. I could not find him this time.
Oh, he was back there, bro. He's just chilling.
He's just chilling. He didn't do anything, actually. He was just there to watch.
But like, they don't have any big forwards. They got Wall. Like, he's 6'9", white dude.
I don't think he's very good either.
Like, Vogt is a senior, and I don't know if he plays. He's 7 foot. But like, they have a sophomore. I don't think they have any size. I think they're dog shit.
He was trying to stay out of shots.
Let's see.
Put that out there. Maybe you should have just been the poster boy. You should have been in every shot.
I'm not particularly high on the Badgers this year because I don't. But like,
because there's no reason to be high on them,
right? But like, they have some younger talent. Like
they do. They're a lot younger than they thought.
Pretty good last night.
Mm-hmm.
Again against nobody, but like it's still like a start of something different for them. I don't know. It just seems like every year the Badgers will find a way to get themselves in the tournament somehow.
It definitely. I don't know about that. It
I'm
definitely looks like they're really just trying to figure out who's good on that team, though. Because I'm looking up and down like who all played in this game. There's a shit ton of people that played in this game.
Greg Gard usually does that in the beginning of the year. He rotates like crazy when they play bad teams.
Can they just oh my god, bro!
They played 15 players.
Yeah,
bro. You're telling me Michigan versus Wisconsin at the Kohl Center is $40? Say what, bro?
Are you just looking at pictures?
Yeah, bro. What?
It's Michigan.
Yeah, I know. You should at least be able to get like 60 or 70 for a 100 level ticket.
Oh.
$41 for a 100 level ticket.
You want to go?
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll go.
Speaking of Big Ten basketball, Purdue is my other Final Four team.
Okay, yeah. So back on track. So
I got Michigan. I got Michigan.
Thank you.
Purdue in the Big Ten.
I got Michigan, Duke, Texas, Gonzaga.
I don't hate that.
Texas, Kansas, and then Purdue.
Granted, also I should point out that as I am a Michigan football fan, I am a Michigan basketball fan. Those stay aligned. Duke happened because I started playing basketball when I was a kid, and well, obviously, but JJ Redick and Adam Morrison scoring title was like the first time I played organized basketball, and I have a black JJ Redick jersey in my closet because he's the best player ever.
Whoa.
Okay. Yeah.
College basketball player.
That was loaded as fuck.
But college basketball. My bad.
That was loaded as fuck.
College basketball player. My bad. I didn't.
Some teams that I do think have an opportunity to make the Final Four, but they probably won't. Baylor, because Baylor had a good run, and if I'm not mistaken, they returned a lot of their starters from last year.
Yeah, but they lost their guys. They lost Steve Mitch,
losing Davion's gonna be
guard. What was his name?
Well, I'll just keep my mouth
shut. What was that one
then.
white guy? They had that one white guy.
That one that got real fucking hot in the tourney.
The mullet.
Uh-huh.
Oh, damn it.
Oh yeah, you gotta love a good mullet in basketball.
I got a sleeper team though. St. Bonaventure.
Ooh.
Hey,
they're top 25 right now.
They are top 25. They are actually completely.
Did they have a good run last year?
Yeah. Well, they lost the first round to LSU, but they were.
I thought they did. I thought they beat LSU.
They lost. They were a 9 seed, if I'm not
mistaken.
It was
8. Yeah, it was 8-9.
But they could be higher this year. And they're loaded. They have everybody back. They have transfers in.
Loki, the other person I'm going to say is not dark horse because their 6th favorite is Villanova. Villanova they have their starting super senior point guard who's Gillespie's first team preseason All-American. That team just seems to figure it out. It is just very well coached by Jay Wright. So But for betting the top 5, because 2 are tied, Gonzaga's to make the Final Four. Gonzaga plus 115, Michigan plus 240, Texas plus 240, Purdue plus 260, and then Kansas is tied with Purdue at plus 260.
That's surprising because the top 5's got your top 5 that you just mentioned only has 2 top 4 teams right now.
Right.
Like that would assume Nova and UCLA are not on top of there.
Which makes sense. Which makes sense because usually the top 4 teams, I think it's only happened once where all top single number 1 seeds made the Final Four. It's only happened once.
That's why I throw out the Bonnies in there because it's like there is always it's never chalk.
It's never the top 4.
It's very rare when it's chalk.
So like, a team that might surprise people, yes, is Bonaventure, but you still have teams like that will get it together. Like Ohio State could get it together. I'm not saying they're making a Final Four. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying they can make like a Sweet 16 or maybe even an Elite 8 run. But there's always one of those teams that you just don't see coming. And I think one of those teams that can make a Sweet 16 run this year is UWM. They do have the guy right now. And it's a long shot still because you're putting one guy basically against like not super teams, but people who play against tougher scheduling week in and week out. So you're going to get a tougher matchup. But I think UWM has a solid chance of making one of those Sweet 16 runs. I'm not saying they're going to make deep.
UWM, I think by the coaches poll on the Horizon was picked like 9th.
That's such bullshit. They should.
Well, again,
they should walk away with that.
The Horizon League this year, it's like there's no like in the years past has been like Wright State and stuff. And you never know. Like last year, UWM beat Wright State in the freaking Horizon League tournament, like the first shot. Like you never know. I'm going to take UWM because they have the best player. That's about it.
Yep. So that's usually a safe bet.
So I named the top 5 who are favored to make it.
A one bid league, you never know.
Right. Duke is plus 290. Memphis plus 420. Kentucky plus 330.
This is the win to all or make it to the Final Four?
Make it to the Final Four.
Okay.
Michigan
Houston
State
struggled
plus
last
650.
night, but Houston, they are well coached. They're always going to be around.
Yeah.
You know
St. Bonnie plus 1800.
Yeah, I bet the Bonnies to win the Natty for the hell of it plus 6,500.
Not bad. I can't even. Champion.
It was like $20.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
which paid out ridiculously amount.
Yeah. That seems really high for the national championship. The highest odds is plus 650.
Yeah,
that seems high.
Yeah,
I know it's hard
because one loss in March.
I know, but like Gonzaga was there.
Yeah, last year I had Gonzaga the whole way at like plus 850.
They also have a more loaded team than they do this year, though.
1, 2, 3.
That's probably true.
So Duke isn't in the top 5 to make the NCAA, but they're tied for second in best odds to win the national championship.
I don't know how they come.
So Michigan, Texas, and Duke are all tied at plus 1,200. That's the set. So I mean, Jesus, you're getting double the odds. Okay, I guess that is a big margin for Gonzaga to win. That makes okay.
Which I think is kind of ridiculous, but
who boys? What do we have for conference favorites?
So obviously, I put that out there as
where are we
starting? Right.
Yeah, that's a lovely question.
So unlike when we talk about the NCAA, the football, we focus on the 5 main conferences.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could. Let's start with the Big 5. Let's start with Power 5.
We'll start out with Power 5. That would start with the ACC.
Let me pull them up. Let me pull it up.
All right. Yeah, I'll go first then. ACC. Obviously, I would say Duke is the favorite. I have a outside shout. I thought about Virginia until yesterday, and I literally changed my mind and said that roster's not as talented as I thought. But I like longer shot. I think it's still Duke's to lose, but I like North Carolina. I think they have one of the. I know they have a new coach, Hubert Davis, but they have one of the best front lines in the nation. Minus UCLA's guys hurt, but like they have one of the best front lines in America. And Caleb Love is their point guard. I think he's going to improve.
I like that guy a lot. I like him a lot.
They got Dawson Garcia as well, the transfer from Marquette, who is good, And I mean, he has so much more to prove as well. I just think they have guys that have things to prove. Caleb Love and Dawson Garcia being one of them. They're huge inside already. I think they can bother Duke in a game because of their size.
I don't. Michigan or Duke isn't small. Mark Williams.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Mark Williams and Griffin aren't small. Pancaro's, I think, 6'9", 6'10".
But I think they could potentially match up. That's what I'm remembering. And then Caleb Love, I really like. He was not that good last year. If he does what I think he can do, I would take North Carolina in the ACC just because I'm not doing chalk.
That is the best way to do it, is not go chalk. That's for damn sure.
Right. So
North Carolina is my pick.
Fuck you.
Notice in the show I've went against T-Bone everything in the Big Ten football and basketball.
That's the thing. There's like Kyle saw me watching the Michigan State game. He left before they lost, but it ruined my weekend. That is the same. I have the same feeling. Well, actually, not usually for Michigan. I have that feeling for Michigan football, specifically like in November against Michigan State. If they lose against Penn State, whatever. But Michigan State and Ohio State, I have the same feeling. Duke and North Carolina. It ruins my fucking day. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to watch the game with anybody.
Thank God I left early.
I think the game will be great again.
Because Wisconsin kicked ass. I left in a good mood.
Yeah, you did. I have Duke obviously as well. They're the favorites at plus 190. Florida State next at
Florida State. Yeah,
that's Florida State was going to be my pick.
Yeah, no, that's.
They're always sneaky, very athletic. They're usually one of the most athletic teams in the ACC.
Yes.
They
are again.
In recent memories, I think Jonathan Isaac came from there. Scotty Barnes came from there. Like, they had a guard a couple years ago that was like.
They got really good defenders there. Jesus Christ,
they play great defense. Leonard Hamilton is a really good coach.
He's low key. Like the whole a lot of the ACC. I mean, Coach K. Virginia's coach. Why? Tony Bennett. Like not Dean Smith. Fucking Christ. I'm blanking on their coaches' names. Holy shit. North Carolina's coach.
Williams.
Oh, unimportant because no one gives a fuck about him.
Hey, he's retired too.
Is he?
Are we? Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Roy Williams just didn't care about getting a farewell tour and like praise.
Not everything's about you.
Yeah, not everything was about Roy Williams. He said, "Okay, I'm retiring at the end of the year, not before the year." So you get Coach K goes out before the game and gets a jersey and
he didn't get a jersey. He got
whatever.
A picture.
He got something.
He got a picture. You got some gifts. Okay.
He's gonna get a lot of gifts this year, and it's gonna get annoying real fucking quick.
Every single place he goes this year.
Yeah, and he's gonna auction it off, and he's gonna put money towards breast cancer awareness. So fucking sue the guy.
Do you actually believe what you're saying right now?
Is he actually doing that?
Yeah. What do you mean? The K Foundation is all about like cancer research and awareness.
Well, that's nice, but do you think he's?
And he's one of the biggest donors for the Jimmy V.
And while he's doing that, he's going to yell at reporters.
He doesn't yell at reporters. I'm defensive of my old man.
This is like he
Coach
said,
K is my grandpa. I never had a grandpa growing up as a kid. I only had a grandma. Coach K is my fucking grandpa.
Welcome to T-Bone's TED Talk.
Yeah, right.
I can't.
And we're just here for the ride.
Okay, so some you guys might know, but like I coach high school basketball.
Yeah.
I played football, but like college, like basketball is my shit. Coach K is the most influential coach that I've ever had, and I've never had him as a coach. So
all right, cool.
I love Coach K.
Because we do have a whole nother sport to talk about. Can we kind of
Yeah, we should move along with conference.
Okay.
All right, Big 12. I'm going to say a conference, and you guys will give it.
All right, I'm going to go Texas. I'm high on Texas. I think they might struggle in the first 2 months. They have the most talent. I think Kansas and them are really close. I think. I like Chris Beard.
Fuck. I like Kansas only because like the last 19 of 20 years they've won it. So I'm gonna take the stats and that's it's fair. Kansas.
Like, you can go either way.
Yeah,
I'll throw my random thought in here. I'm picking Baylor.
Cool, I love it.
Big East.
No.
All right. I'm gonna take a shot.
Nobody.
All right, I'll take a shot.
Nova.
Nova. You can have Nova. I'll take a shot on St. John's. They love to run it up and down. They're going to score 1 billion points. I don't know if they're going to play much defense, but they're going to score 1 billion points, and they got a shot.
Most of the teams that we're talking about, Nova's the only one at neg odds to win the Big Third Conference.
Really?
Neg 125.
I was kind of looking at the stat line and a couple highlights of the UConn game. They look really good as well. So I'm picking UConn. I'm picking UConn.
I noticed that last night. I was like, UConn looked. I know they played Central Connecticut State, but they looked very impressive. One of the most impressive teams I saw last night.
This is where it gets a little more interesting. Big Ten. Actually, not a little more interesting. This is interesting.
Michigan.
Purdue.
Michigan.
I like Purdue, but
Williams
I don't
is
like
back.
them to win.
Edie is 7 foot 1,000. He's huge.
Taco Fall looking.
He's bigger. Edie is going to be really good.
Just because I don't feel like agreeing with either of you, I'm picking Illinois.
Yeah,
I'm not going to pick anything you guys pick. I'm going to be different every single time.
And
I got Illinois for that one.
I think that's like they are dominating inside. I think they can stop Hunter Dickinson as he just dunked on a guy's face of Buffalo, but
he did.
I think
you see that?
I literally did. It just happened.
That's great. I love it.
But yeah, I'm taking Purdue. I like Matt Painter a lot too.
I'm going to give you the biggest reason why Wisconsin's not going to win or be close to the tournament this year. There's too much fucking competition in the Big Ten, and they're just going to get left out.
Is Big Ten basketball like SEC football?
I would agree with that 100%.
Maybe.
I would agree with that.
I would have used to say it used to be ACC was the SEC of football.
Well, and then before that, it used to be the Big East.
It was the Big East for a very long time. Yeah,
it was like
get shit on, bro.
ACC, and now I think it's probably Big Ten.
I accidentally did rewind, so I just watched it again.
God, there's so many conferences.
I know.
We already agreed that Horizon's going to be walked away with by UWM.
It's not going to be walked.
It's not going to be walked away, but they're going to drop a couple because Baldwin's going to drop some.
Is the next big one? Is the next big one Pac-12?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me Oregon. Oregon.
Not UCLA.
I think I think USC. I like Mobley. I like Mobley.
The other one? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oregon.
Isaiah
That's
Mobley,
good.
I believe.
Yeah. Is that his brother?
I like the coach.
Evan Mobley, and I need to get this NBA thing started because Evan Mobley is looking fucking great right now.
He's really
cool. I like it.
Let's see. Are there any other A10 we think is Bonnie?
Yeah, I'm all Bonnie.
The AAC could be interesting with Memphis, Houston, and Wichita State.
I got Houston based on experience, and they play a little bit more defense.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
And I think Sampson is a better coach than Hardaway because I don't think Hardaway even coaches defense.
I think Hardaway's a lot more of like he's the better recruiter than he is. He's like Juwan Howard. He's like Juwan Howard.
When your coaches that played in the NBA, you're there because you're a recruiter. That's for the most part. Like because Penny's at Memphis, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Penny's
it works. It works though for Memphis. They're back on the map just because of him.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Same with. I mean, Michigan was good under Beeline, but it's the same reason why they're getting Beeline. Beeline's teams were much more built, whereas I don't want to say Michigan's is bought. I mean, they have a sophomore potential like All-American player in Dickinson. Like they brought in guys like Franz Wagner last year, who was like a legacy from Mo Wagner. So it's like
he's also killing it with the Magic.
He is. True. I know.
I can't wait for us to.
Orlando is literally like Michigan South. It's they have like
it
6
really
guys.
Is.
It's
it
wild.
Really is.
They have the Wagner brothers. They have and like 2 or 3 others.
Look it up.
But yeah, like I think colleges, like universities, should go after these older alumni to be their coach. Like Juwan Howard has never coached before and got a Big Ten head coaching job. Like
it just depends though with those coaches. Then I think with those coaches, it only can last for so long until you have to win the big one.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
That's
right.
The only
But
thing.
what would you say is how long is like?
It's a great question because
college basketball is completely different than college football. It's not even the same planet.
In this newer generation of college basketball, we're starting to see it more. The Juwan Howards, and the Penny Hardaway. So I don't think we know yet because all those older coaches are really, really good coaches. The Coach K's, the Cals, I don't know if you want to say that.
Great fucking pass.
Bill Self, all them guys. Like, they're the great coaches there, not the players. So we're kind of getting into that new era. You're going to have Shire.
Well,
who's taking over at Duke? Shire.
I was going to say Shire's similar to that sense where he's a former player. And his first recruiting class next year is already, I think, top 3.
Right. It's a new generational thing here.
And I know Shire and Nolan Smith were like head of recruiting for Duke the last 3-4 years. So they have the practice. But we're going to see it. You look at Michigan. Michigan was always underrated. Then they would make their run, like when they did with Trey Burke and they beat Louisville. I don't want to hear it. They beat Louisville. They didn't, but they did. There was a block, Trey Burke. Trey Burke blocked him. Peyton Siva, fuck him. No problem.
Was that the game Kevin Ware just leg fell on?
No, this was the national championship.
Yeah,
that was on the way to that, I believe. Yeah, it was.
It was on the way to that.
It was that year, though.
It was that year. Yeah.
It was in like the Elite Eight, I think.
No, I thought it was in the conference tourney.
No, it was in the tournament.
No, it was in the tournament. It was 100%.
That's why it went so crazily viral because it was.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was around Easter because I was at Easter dinner when it happened.
Wow, he remembers where he was. It was that bad.
I do remember. That's when you see something like that, you don't forget that. That was a horrifying injury. That was
really
nasty.
It really was really bad.
It really was.
He tried to come back and play too.
He played at Georgia State. Southern, something like that.
Georgia State.
The man's bone was sticking out of his leg,
and it just did not work.
No.
His career was done after that day.
So back to the point, like Michigan, they're consistently competing / winning the Big Ten. They're making the tournament. For college basketball, that's all you have to do is like win your conference either outright or the tournament.
I guess that's fair.
Schools take either one and then make the tournament. Like that's all.
That's why Greg Gard is still at Wisconsin. To be fair,
right.
That's 100% the only reason he is still there. That's it.
You like Jay Wright. Jay Wright's not. For casual guys, people might not even know who the fuck Jay Wright is, and he's probably one of the best college coaches.
If you don't know who Jay Wright is, you're not watching.
But I'm saying
he has a good point.
If you only watch the tournament, you still know his name.
No, I promise you, if I went up to a couple of my friends that just like only watch,
if I just said, "Hey, did you see what Jay Wright did this week?"
I don't know if
they'd be like, "Who the fuck is Jay Wright?"
Yeah,
if they watch the tournament, you should know who he is because he's always.
I'm saying a casual sports fan.
That's like, that's a different statement.
Whereas you go, people know who the fuck Nick Saban is no matter what.
Yeah,
people know Jim Harbaugh. People know Coach K. People know Tom Izzo, John Cal.
Yeah, that's fair.
But Jay Wright is probably. Jay Wright has more accolades than Coach Cal.
That's fair.
So, I don't think there's not a fast and hard rule of what makes a college basketball coach successful.
I don't know how long you guys plan on running, but it's time to flip sports.
Yeah.
We said hour plus 15.
Hour plus. Whatever. Usually we do between an hour and
it's
hour.
It's a longer one. We're the college show. It's a long one.
We're the college sports show.
We're the college sports show now. So now we're flipping. We got to reset. We're ready. College football.
I'll start it off. Who called Purdue over Michigan State?
You did?
Yeah, you did. I was so excited that I hoped it happened. I'm so happy it happened.
Hell yeah. I am a little surprised, not surprised at the same time, that they put Michigan over Michigan State in the college football playoff ranking, which,
not at all surprised.
Let's be honest, that's the only ranking that matters now. The AP can suck it. We don't give a shit about it anymore.
I didn't even look at the AP.
Very true. Cincinnati, again, was not impressive against Tulsa. I think it's going to continue.
They fumbled inside their own 5 at the end.
They got the turnover and then they fumbled at the 1 or 2 or something like that.
T-Bone's wet dream of Wake Forest finally losing has happened because that was a paper tiger this entire fucking year. There was no way that was going to keep going.
We had to act like they were good.
I mean, Pitt doesn't look good. The ACC is trash.
Like
we can officially say it. The ACC is absolute trash in college football.
We don't even have to talk about it. It's so bad at this point.
No, we don't. Thank God we don't have to talk about the ACC anymore.
Next time I want to hear about the ACC, we'll talk about the ACC championship, and we'll talk about it for a minute and a half. Pick your winner, and we'll move on.
So another decent storyline that I thought was interesting is Patterson is, I think it was Patterson, TCU's head coach that just got fired. Gary Patterson?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. They went out and beat. They
fired him.
They fired him.
But no, but he stayed with the team that last week and helped prepare them for Baylor.
Exactly.
I mean,
It's a weird,
please get us ready.
Scenario.
Can you please get us ready for Baylor? But you have to leave right after.
Gary, please help us beat this guy.
Thank you
and
for
then get the
everything
fuck out.
you've done, Andy
There's
Daltons of the world. But then please leave.
Then get the fuck out.
461 passing yards, though. Thank you, Big 12. It's entertaining to watch. Still a shit show.
That's why Oklahoma's at 8. They're undefeated,
and they're going to lose this week.
And they're going to lose this week. 3, 4. They're behind 5 one-loss teams.
It's so crazy how the playoff rankings, though. Like, I thought for sure, okay, they're going to win again. They're going to move them up a couple spots.
Right.
After the carnage and ahead of them, and they just stick at 8.
It's so different, the college football ranking opposed to the AP Top 25, because Oklahoma's 4th in the AP Top 25.
Cincinnati's number 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Number 2.
About Oklahoma, though.
And Michigan State's still ahead of Michigan.
If Oklahoma beats Baylor, they have to move up, right?
Oh, a lot. Yeah.
How far?
I think.
No.
How far
I don't,
for a
I
Baylor
don't.
win?
You don't think so? On the road against a 13?
They jump Michigan State. 100%
okay,
they
fair,
jump Michigan State.
They jump Michigan State.
They'd have an opportunity to also jump Michigan.
If Michigan wins, beating Penn State, which is supposed to be not a bad win, or not like a trash team, but not as good as we thought.
I think that win would carry.
Cincinnati looks bad for a 3rd straight week. Does it go Michigan, Cincinnati, Oklahoma? Barring they all 3 win. They all 3 win. But Cincinnati.
I think Cincinnati's going to start dropping at some point.
Cincinnati, no, I'm
going to start dropping at some point.
That's what
They have
so
to.
Michigan jumps to 5, Cincy at 6, Oklahoma at 7, Michigan State at 8.
Michigan State
can we start
far?
saying that even if Cincinnati wins out, they're not making the playoff at this point?
I don't know though, because here's my thought on Cincy. They moved up 1 this week, correct? So
that's because Michigan State lost to an unranked team,
and that's my point. You
which
could
they're now
still
19,
see,
but...
like we're acting like again. I'm on here again, like Alabama. We're acting like Alabama is really so good to be in second. Alabama
who's saying that? We are not.
I'm just saying that if Alabama were to lose, that's where the door opens for Cincinnati.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was almost there last week.
Some teams that I can still see climb are Texas A&M. If they go out and beat the dog shit out of Ole Miss, which I personally think is going to happen this week because Ole Miss is based on their offense, not their defense, and Texas A&M, what the fuck is Zach Calzada? The man dislocated his shoulder and came back in and won the game.
Well, Jack Cohn did that with his finger. What? It don't mean shit.
That wasn't his finger. It was his shoulder.
No, Cohn. Jack Cohn did it for Notre Dame. What's your point?
Oh, that is a little bit of a different story.
He's comparing a finger and a shoulder. That's the argument of the week. That's, I mean.
What
did you guys see the hit that got laid on him?
It's all on the wrist, baby. It's all on the wrist.
Did you guys see that hit that Calzada took?
You gotta go like this to throw the ball.
No. There's Ryder's right here. Ryder's right here.
I'm sorry.
Right here.
Does the quarterback sit out there and just sit here with his arm up? And he just,
okay.
Jordan Love. Shot put. He didn't use his arm on that. Jordan Love did. I'm just saying. It's more in the wrist, baby, not in the shoulder for quarterbacks, obviously.
I don't care. As long as Texas A&M finishes in the top 10, I'll be a happy boy and $100 richer. So
if they win this week, they likely will.
I bet it at the beginning of the season when they had their starting quarterback and
You did?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that bet?
Where did I get? Oh, no. It was just a man-to-man bet.
Oh, I was gonna say that's impressive.
Well, man to man.
If they win this week, they will finish.
Yeah, and then because I'm not gonna say they're scrubs that they're gonna play because they still have to play LSU, but the other team is Prairie View A&M.
Oh, they did one of those.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so we're in agreement that the other rankings don't matter.
No, not at all.
Okay, but do they matter? So say for example,
not at all.
I think I agree.
Then we shouldn't ask the question.
No. Because
I'm interested
it's fair.
in the question though.
Because Michigan plays Penn State in college football, they're not ranked. In all other rankings, they're ranked in the top 25. Does that make it any less of a good win?
Like the computers think they're good, but we see it and we're like, oh, they suck.
Right. So I'm saying there's got to be other games that I assume that's
this game's
happen,
at Penn
right?
State, right?
I honestly don't know. I would have to look.
I'll
find out. Hold on. I got it.
I mean, look, I'm not saying it's a bad win. Like if Michigan wins that game,
Penn State.
If Michigan wins that game, do they go past Cincinnati?
They have to win comfortably, though. They have to win by at least like 2 touchdowns.
I think they will win this game too. By the way,
I do too, but I think it has to be at least a 2-touchdown win.
I don't know. It's so weird because again, like Georgia, and then there's a huge gap, and then
100% because nobody's touching Georgia right now.
Everyone else feels very.
I think I'd go to the Ohio State game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I am.
Ann Arbor?
Yeah, it is.
Oh boy. That'll be interesting.
Oh,
that game
it's
for
Thanksgiving
me,
weekend.
That game for me is it's a playoff play-in, I think, potentially.
So, okay, let's put this in perspective real quick.
Michigan
State's going to probably drop lower because they're going to lose another game. They're going to, at the very least, lose to
Ohio State.
They're going to lose to Ohio State.
Right.
Don't they still have to play Penn State as well?
No.
Michigan
State?
Yeah.
They play Maryland this week, and
they get Penn State. They get Maryland, Ohio State, Penn State.
Yes.
Ooh, Jesus.
They could easily.
If they lose another game, you could just forget them.
Good. T-Bone, stop paying attention for a little bit. It's the Wisconsin time.
Okay, cool. Looking up tickets.
Wisconsin.
We're very so much back.
Oh, so back.
Very back.
When you say no, fuck off.
See you in Indy.
I have a question.
What?
Last week, I believe we said if you're outside of the top 10, you have no shot of making the playoffs. You're outside of the top 10.
I'm not saying they're going to make the playoff. I just want them to fuck over someone else's season.
No, we're back. We're back. We're climbing.
Okay, so I know this is transitive property, and you guys hate talking about transitive property.
I do.
Michigan only beat Rutgers by 7. Wisconsin beat the dog shit out of them and won by what, 49, 50?
We've been saying they've turned a corner. It's a whole new football team right now.
Yeah, they can easily. So now, question for you guys: if the weird everybody has one loss at the top of the Big Ten.
Also, Minnesota lost to Illinois, so we're in so much control of that division.
I mean, you're still not. You still just have to win. That's still what the end game is. Ohio State, Michigan State, all with one loss, all in conference. Or sorry, one of them not in conference. If Ohio State loses, and you still have Michigan State, and Ohio State sitting around that top 8. Whoever is the champion, if they lose to, let's say, Wisconsin or whoever comes out of the West, do one of these other Big Ten teams that did not play in the Big Ten title game, do they make it into the playoff? I know that was a lot to unsort.
No, I totally understood the question because
I got confused. I did get confused.
Okay, I'll make it a little easier. I'll make it a little more direct. Let's say you can't have all 3 of these teams win out, but whoever represents the East in the Big Ten championship game.
Dog shit.
Yep.
They're dog shit. Yep. We have dog shit over here.
He's asking though, what if one of those other division teams loses?
Am I mixing them up again?
The West. Wisconsin has the West. Okay.
Good.
So let's say Wisconsin, Minnesota, whoever comes out of the Big Ten West defeats the Big Ten East team in the Big Ten title game. Stay with me here.
I got you. If the shit beats the good, okay? I'm making sure we're getting this for the people. The good lose to the shit.
You just switched hands on that.
You know what? Yeah, no. Yeah, just leave it at that because, all right.
Whatever. Fine.
Yes, answer the question anyway.
Whatever. Okay. If let's say Wisconsin faces Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, and Michigan State are still around that spot, does a team like Michigan or Michigan State make the playoff over Ohio State, who played in the Big Ten title game?
That's a great fucking thought.
But lost to a seemingly shit team.
Correct.
You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say they don't. Because of this, I feel like whoever is in the Big Ten championship from the East side is going to be probably the team that either beat Ohio State or it will be Ohio State who beat Michigan State and Michigan.
Here's where I complicate things. I love to do that. Let's say Michigan wins out. Okay. Let's say Michigan wins out, which means Ohio State would then have a loss, and then Michigan State, we're assuming, is going to lose to Ohio State. They would have 2. So now let's say Michigan plays in the Big Ten championship game and loses to whoever they face in the Big Ten championship game, but Ohio State now would have 2 losses. They'd be out, correct?
I think if that happens, I think Michigan still gets in.
If Michigan wins out and loses Big Ten championship, they still get in.
I think so too.
Yeah,
because I think the Big Ten has to have one.
Especially if it's Wisconsin with that winning streak they're going to be coming in with. If they win out, could be as ranked as high as like 14 or 15, 14, maybe even as high as 13.
Because I'm telling you though, if that happens and like let's say Alabama, Georgia are for sure ins, there's going to be an argument that either if a 2-loss Big Ten team deserves it or Cincinnati at undefeated.
Or watch out. Let's say
that could be an interesting battle.
I just love going through these what if cycles in my head because I talked about them a couple weeks ago with Texas A&M. They still, technically have a chance to make the playoff. The likelihood of it, incredibly low. They would need Alabama to drop a game.
They're losing the Iron Bowl.
And then, if that happens, that leaves the door open for Texas A&M to go to the SEC championship game. If they could somehow, they won't happen, dethrone Georgia,
they're in.
Like they'd be in.
They're in, yeah.
They'd 100% be in because you took down at one time 1 and 2 in the country.
You're in, yeah. You're in.
You got to be in.
And Bama, if Bama had 2 losses by then, which they would need to get Texas A&M into the SEC title game, Bama would be gone.
It's so hard for me to believe, like outside of the SEC, seeing another conference have 2 teams represented in the playoff with a 4-team function.
It should only be SEC and Big Ten.
If it was up to me,
I feel like it's 8 themselves alive to the point where I don't think they're not getting to.
Okay, I do have another like small exercise I wanted to do. I don't know why I said exercise, but
what are we in fucking math class?
So you know how they're talking about expanding to 12 teams, correct?
Yeah, that's bullshit. It should go to 8.
I think 12 is a good number because it still rewards 1 through 4 to get a bye.
Too many.
Why?
To be honest, I would like. Yeah, it doesn't matter. 8 or 12 would be lovely.
I like 8. You have 5 Power 5s, you have 5 conference winners, and you have 3 wild cards.
Okay, so are we picking 8 or 12? 8 or 12 right now?
8. I want 8.
All right, fine. 8. If the playoff was 8 teams right now, your playoff would consist of Georgia versus Oklahoma.
That's perfect. Yes.
Yeah. You just watch Oklahoma get the shit beat out of them.
Love
it.
Yeah, Georgia scores 7 points.
Yeah.
Sorry,
7.
Give up.
0 final score.
7-0 final score with like 2 yards given.
There you go.
Michigan State would play Alabama.
That'd be good fucking.
That'd be a good fucking game. That would be a good game. I think Alabama would win.
Okay, Michigan State, yeah.
That's an elite running back against
great game.
It's
a great game. Again, it's another great game.
A great game.
Good matchup.
Yeah.
Pac-12 against Big Ten. You would have Oregon against Michigan.
Another great game.
Another great game.
Yeah. All right. No, I'm sold. We're going to 8.
And then you have the Battle of Ohio. Cincinnati against Ohio State.
Ohio State.
God.
We don't even have to go through the like what ifs.
I have a question though. I've wondered this for a while, and I don't know. So maybe you guys can answer. If they did expand it to 8, let's say, what weekends would they play the games on?
I think
they'd only have to add 1 weekend, right?
I know, but like which?
I would say you just take away a non-conference game at the beginning of the year. So
and
instead of playing
have it as like how they have the playoff now as a bowl game. Like it's either the Rose Bowl or whatever. They switch it off.
Rose Bowl, Cotton Bowl,
whatever.
Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah. What would they do in that first round? Would you have it maybe even like, let's get even more wild, like the higher seeds get the home game? Because that would be epic.
That would be decent.
So my thing with the 8 teams, it's not top 8. It's 5 conference winners. Stop calling it the Power 5 if you're not going to get.
You're putting the ACC in?
You have to.
not a fucking chance in hell. No,
I
fucking way.
hate that. I mean,
You know
maybe
the only way
that
for
might be interesting.
ACC would be in the
no,
two.
fuck that. Then you're giving the Power 5 too much. Then they'll just leave the whole thing. Power 5 done.
Keith, this is after they realign the Power 5. Cincinnati would be in the fucking whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Notre Dame would probably go to the ACC.
BYU would be in
We're not giving the Sam Houston States of the world a shot.
Power 5. They're in 1AA. What are you talking about?
Can we just get rid of the ACC?
They're joining the Conference
the Power
USA.
4?
What are you talking about? You make no sense.
They're joining the Conference USA.
Keith.
They're joining the Conference USA. I think Sam Houston State is.
Okay, cool. Whatever.
Sorry, continue.
But, okay, so you have those 5, and then you have 3 wild cards. That could be for a Cincinnati, who, if they went undefeated, they would win their conference, and they're going to be in a Power 5. But you would have room for the Cincinnatis of the world, the US, the UCF of the world.
Do the 8 right now. So Wake Forest would be.
Yeah, Wake Forest
I'm okay
would be
with
in.
that.
I'm
right,
not.
but so then you seed them.
I'm not.
I'm no.
So you seed them. Whoever the 5 power conferences.
Who would be out right now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You'd have to take somebody out then.
Yeah, you have to take someone out. So who's out?
What do you mean?
Because Oklahoma would be in at 1 through 5, whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, we have how many?
Because you're basically trying to seed it like the NFL. That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
You're basically saying,
or I'm fine with
if
you get if you win your conference, you get a bid, like the NCAA tournament.
You
for
can't
basketball.
do that.
No, you get a bid, and then you have the 8 teams, and then you reseed the 8 teams. You have the committee do what they do now, and you reseed the 8 teams.
You're overcomplicating this thing, bud.
No, what?
Again, I'm just asking who you would take out if you put Wake Forest in right now.
Well,
and you have to have a Big 12 winner as well.
It would probably be
Oklahoma has to be in 2.
It would probably be the 3rd Big 10 team, which would be at that point we would either know. I guess we would know, right? Like it would play itself out. At this point, it would be whoever the 3rd Big 10 team is. Who is Michigan State?
That it plays itself out. Yeah, you could still end the season with all 3 of those teams having 1 loss technically.
See, the way we did it the first time sounded a lot better.
No, impossible.
The games were awesome.
No, you're right. Michigan State and Michigan play Ohio State still. Never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry. Where I was going with this is because it does seem like what's on the table is a top 12 instead of a top 8. It looks like they're skipping 8 altogether, but it would be 1 through 4 would get a bye.
And then they do 8.
And then 5 would play 12, 6 would play 11, 7 would
Is
play.
Is that the proposed way?
That is currently the proposed way sitting
So
on the
you
table.
would have Cincinnati against Wake Forest.
Correct. And I think
you just put Wake Forest in, you fuck. You just put them in. I put them in too, and you gave me shit for it.
And then Texas A&M. Think about this game. Think about this game right now. Texas A&M against Michigan.
Oh, that'd be good.
Holy shit!
We'd win by 80, but it'd be a good game.
I mean, either
that
like again
is elite.
From the
I know
start.
mine is.
From the start, I said, no matter how you do it, it's got to be more though. It would be good no matter how you do it.
It'd be better. It'd be okay if they went to 6.
No. You have
more
to
is better.
If you're expanding, you're going to 8.
Or go to 5. If you want to go to 5,
I hate you.
Number 1 gets the bye. Number 1 gets the bye. I'm just saying.
I was going to run down the rest of the matchup.
Straight to the national championship.
No, just like the BCS.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then
just to finish that.
To be fair, though, this year Georgia would probably deserve that.
Right. They would already be in the Final 4.
Right. All right, let's talk about some games that are happening this week, boys, because it's actually a pretty good fucking slate this weekend. Let me see. I am out of sorts, and I tried to rush you. I would say it's decent.
Pretty good.
Michigan faces Penn State. I obviously know what T-Bone's going to say. The line's set for Michigan at 1.5. The over-under is 48. Keith, what do you think for this one?
I don't want to pick Michigan ever on this show, so I'm going to take the under. I'm just going to play the total. Nobody's going to score. It's going to be an ugly Big Ten
What a
game.
hell of a non-answer, you fuck.
There, I'm taking the other, but yeah, I think Michigan's going to win.
Here's the bet I want to bet on. Is J.J. McCarthy going to fumble the fucking football?
Yes.
Answer, probably.
Yes.
He still played last week.
He did.
What are we doing, Jim? This is why he needs to get fucking fired unless we win out.
And then
I'm
next
not
year,
sure. Yeah,
we'll
we go to the playoff.
I can't. I don't know what I would do because I've been calling for his job for 2 years now.
But you're still calling.
I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do.
I personally am taking Michigan with the points because I mean Penn State is going in the wrong direction. So
yeah, 1.5. I mean, they are at Happy Valley. Happy Valley is a fucking.
And that's why I think that's why this is such a closer line.
Like if Michigan
probably going to be a whiteout, they'll probably bring in a whiteout.
I never want to hear from him again.
What?
If Michigan loses that game, I just don't want to hear from Michigan ever again.
The thing is, like, I've seen...
And then I agree, Harbaugh should be fired.
Penn State has not been Harbaugh's kryptonite. It's been Michigan State and Ohio State. We've gone to Happy Valley and beaten the shit out of them, like 40-something to 7. So we can go there and win. I have confidence in that. Happy Valley doesn't scare me as going to the shoe.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I don't trust.
Can I talk? We're not going to talk about this game because I just want to put this out here. Wisconsin Northwestern. Wisconsin's favored 24.5. The over/under is 41, which basically is saying that Northwestern's not going to score points. They're not going to score points.
No, I seriously like Northwestern sucks. Like I think we are going to annihilate them. I think that is an annihilation waiting to happen.
You want to see do you want to hear a fucked up world? Yeah. New Mexico State beats Alabama. Oh my god.
I don't even know if you could bet that. It's so
the line is 51.5 to Alabama.
By the way, I like New Mexico State to cover. Saw a stat this week. Mm-hmm. Nick Saban is 1-8 with favorite by 50 or more.
So definitely take New Mexico State.
There you go.
Where was I? Oklahoma, number 8 Oklahoma travels to Baylor. What is that in Waco? It's Waco, right? Yep. To face number 13 Baylor. Ohio. Oklahoma is 5.5 point favorites. The over under 62.5. I'm taking the over.
I don't even want to play that game, but I'm going to take Baylor because I've been thinking about an Oklahoma loss all year. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's probably a bad way to pick this game.
One of our themes of this show.
I like this game. Like the difference in this compared to earlier in the year might be the quarterback situation still for Oklahoma. Caleb Williams is playing a lot better than Spencer Rattler. So he could be the difference in this game, which makes Baylor lose, like them beat Baylor. Mm-hmm. I don't like. I want to say Baylor though because I don't think they can really stop the run well enough. Oklahoma, but I'll take Baylor because they're the home team. But that's it.
Okay.
What did you say the spread? What would you say the spread was?
It was 5.5 to Oklahoma.
Oklahoma minus 5.5.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I gotta take Baylor on that one.
Mm-hmm. I would take Baylor at the money line.
Yeah, I would. I'm going to just for the fun of it.
I think the dream ends. The dream's gonna end. It's gonna be Oklahoma.
That line just makes me feel like it. That's another one that just doesn't make sense.
Can we talk about the fact about these rankings that number 8 is undefeated and number 13 has 2 losses? How's that make you feel?
The Big 12, a big fuck you.
Big fuck you. There you go. This one I'm not as excited about, but it still carries a little something. Mississippi State travels to Auburn. Auburn's favored 5.5. I'm still leaning towards Auburn. Like, I don't think they play well.
See, these games, I had another total here. I like the under in this too.
The
like,
SEC is 50. Eating itself alive.
It is. And I would take the under. I'm taking the under. I take the under by a mile in this game.
Me too. Yeah,
it's 50.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm touching. I'm picking. I think Auburn will win this game, but I'm telling you, if I'm putting money down, I'm picking the under.
Yep, my same thoughts. The defense of Auburn is still. I had the under in A&M Auburn last week, and it is the easiest thing ever.
Georgia's going to kill Tennessee, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yep.
Purdue faces Ohio State, and Purdue is one of those teams that is like the top team killer, but they face teams that are around or below them, and they lose. And they just lose bad, too.
Here's a stat. Purdue has beaten 2 top 5 teams. No team has beaten in just the regular season. It's happened in the playoffs because obviously you play teams in the playoffs in the top 5. But in the regular season, no team has beaten 3 top 5 teams in a regular season before. And they have a chance to do that.
2 of their losses are to Minnesota and Wisconsin as well.
Purdue, they beat Michigan State. And
Who do they play this week?
Ohio State.
Do they? I thought.
Yeah. That's what the game we're talking about. Did you just tune out for like the last 5 minutes? What the fuck, man?
I swear you said someone else. I swear to God you said someone else in the Big Ten. I was like, okay. That's why I was like, wait a minute. I thought we were on this.
So I'm not going to be as ballsy to say that Purdue is going to win, but I'm 100% saying they're going to cover.
You know what?
They're going to win.
And I'm not even going to argue with your pick here because they do this stuff. I'm taking Purdue in the points.
You know what? I'm not going to lie. You know what kind of like little parlay I like? I like Baylor money line, Purdue money line, maybe a little like Michigan or like
Oh God, you
don't bet with your heart. Don't bet with your heart. Don't do it.
I'm gonna see what that would net.
It didn't sound that bad.
No, it didn't sound that bad. Holy shit, you're bright as fuck.
Fuck. What happened? I got. Wait, what?
God, I love doing podcasts with you, bud.
What? I didn't do anything to my camera.
I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden you leaned forward and you got super fucking bright. Game of notes is also in the Big Ten. Minnesota taking on Iowa. It's not that it sounds unappealing as all fucking hell, but I have Minnesota beating them. The line is set Iowa at 5.5. The over under is 37.
This is your typical Minnesota lose to a bad team, come back and beat a halfway decent team. And I don't even think like Iowa. I don't even think they're a great team anymore. Like they're just an average football team right now.
They're ranked, but I mean they're
just
barely
average.
Ranked.
They're really just average.
Yeah. Another game of note. Well, I mean, I'll come back to that game because that's in my opinion, the biggest game of the weekend. But let me see: Southern Miss, UTSA,
Baylor game,
Notre Dame, Virginia could be interesting.
Love Notre Dame.
I do love Notre Dame in that one as well.
I think we even forget like they might have a outside shot at the playoff.
Notre Dame, I would have to agree with that.
Because the only the problem with them is they will not get to play in a conference championship.
No, and that's always going to hurt them. It's always going to hurt them until they finally.
That's why they usually have to go undefeated. But like they do, if there is a couple losses at the top, they have a resume that could fight for it a bit.
It's still the cannibalization of the Big Ten that they have to hope for, and the SEC. To be honest,
there's a lot of people that need Alabama to lose. There just is.
The only reason that money just rose so much is because you picked money line Purdue. By the way,
yeah, I know that.
The only reason I just saw your face light up.
Yeah, $25 bet would win me almost like $1,500 or $1,100.
Yeah,
that's not a bad risk right there.
It's not the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Do we see Michigan? Do we see Michigan State turning around this week? I don't know what the hell's wrong with my voice all of a sudden.
Who do they play?
Maryland.
I'm gonna say they do, but I mean Maryland. The problem with Maryland is they can't stop anybody. So I feel like Kenneth Walker is going to go absolutely insane this week. Mm-hmm. But I mean Maryland's gonna put up points. Michigan State can't really stop anything in the pass.
I think this is the highest I've
seen.
Tua's
brother, Tua's brother is in there.
Talia, Talia.
He looked absolute dog shit in any game that mattered, but I think Michigan State's secondary, like compared to Iowa, I still think Iowa's secondary is miles better than Michigan State's.
For Michigan State to have a chance,
I think they're going to win. They probably win by 2 touchdowns.
Michigan State?
Yeah, this week.
Well, that would cover if it's 2 touchdowns. That would cover.
I don't want to touch the game, but
I'm not going to touch that game either. I also have Michigan State winning, but I think it's going to be closer. I think it'll only be a touchdown. NC State taking on Wake Forest. I know we don't give a shit about the ACC, but I have NC State winning this game. The line is 1.5 in Wake's.
God.
66.5. Jesus.
Over.
66.5?
Why not? Wake plays in the hundreds every week. But
Dan Hartman does know how to throw that goddamn football around. I'll tell you that.
Are we thinking that Wake Forest might turn into an Iowa here and drop a couple games now after losing one?
Yes.
I think we might be.
They won't be in the ACC championship game. I don't think so.
What?
Hello.
I'm trying to scare you. Did I scare you?
Yeah. You're
I
super
know it did.
scary.
Seriously, what's ever
got
happened?
Does TCU pull it off a second week in a row as they face number 10 Oklahoma State? Oklahoma State is favored by 13. The over/under is 54.5.
No,
I agree. They don't have Gary Patterson telling them, "Hey, this is what you do. Do this and then do that."
Maybe they do.
Maybe.
No.
Who else do we like? What else could I throw into this parlay?
Well, I'm going to give you the final
Northwestern.
game of what we're going to be. You're gonna fucking.
You're gonna ruin it. Watch.
It's gonna make you feel even worse.
The parlay's dead.
I think I would do both.
Parlay's dead by 12:30 p.m. and then Purdue goes and wins that football game. How bad?
Do you want to know how much this has jumped? It went from a $25 bet to net $1,100. It went from 25. Now it's to win almost $19,000.
Yeah, because Wisconsin's not losing to Northwestern.
Oh, you picked Northwestern. Okay, yeah, good. All right. Would you take the 1,100 or? If
you are a wise betting man, you would not bet on that Wisconsin game because you're going to use your heart again, and it's going to fuck you over.
No.
What?
Said no.
Why don't you just not the money? You're picking Northwestern money line? You're a fucking moron. If you're gonna bet that game, I might
do it like as like a second parlay with all four and just say fuck it. What if Wisconsin loses? What if they lose?
Just don't bet the money line. Just bet Northwestern.
I don't know. Make a bet with me if they lose. I don't know.
You just like fuck
Jesus.
I don't want to see you lose money. I hate bets within this podcast. The final game on this slate is number 11 Texas A&M traveling to Ole Miss. The line is Texas A&M favored by 2.5.
That game's so hard for me. I literally have nothing on it because I really think how much total?
56.5. I'm smashing the under. Tebow or A&M's defense is that good. I looked at your name as I was starting to say that. That's why I started saying your name.
Could easily. I mean, I don't. Yeah, you got a point, but do we just think maybe the better quarterback wins this game?
I don't think Matt Corral. I think I'm starting to believe that Matt Corral is really not that great of a quarterback.
Get the fuck out.
Well, that's not good. I think you're an Eagles fan, and you guys might be interested.
I really want the Pittsburgh Steelers to draft Matt
Shut
Corral.
up. Shut up.
I
take Sam Howell. I want Sam Howell. If I'm grabbing a quarterback for the Eagles, I want Sam Howell before I
mark
take
this.
Matt
I mark this in 2 years. Can't wait. Sam Howell's going to be 0-18
in the NFL.
Well, that's not possible. Are they
point.
expanding the schedule again?
He's going to lose on the bye.
He's going to lose the bye. That was the Lions last week.
That was the Lions last week.
Yeah.
I already made that joke. Sorry,
what
bud.
the fuck is going on with this Buffalo game? Why are they down by 8 right now?
Yeah, you see this run by Buffalo. Buffalo's favorite. Buffalo's the favorites in the MAC this year. They're not a bad team. Juwan Howard's team didn't come out of the locker room at halftime. It seems great coaching by Juwan.
Final question, boys: who's losing in the top 25, and then we're getting the fuck out of here.
Ohio State.
I can see it.
I'm calling it. I'm pulling a key from last week.
Yeah,
pull it out, and I'm gonna win about like $18,000 because I'm gonna throw Northwestern on it.
Who's losing?
Oklahoma.
Yeah,
that's probably the most likely, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma. I think Iowa.
Where did Auburn's old coach go? Did he go to USF or UCF?
UCF.
Okay, never mind.
UCF.
Never mind. That defeats what my argument was about to be.
You know, there's a game. I don't think that Oregon's going to lose, but I feel like Washington State has a chance. Yeah,
it's a trap game.
Yeah, it is. I feel like Washington State late at night on a Saturday when you're not paying attention. At midnight, when you're about to go to sleep, it's going to be like Washington's within 7 against Oregon.
I did that. I did that. I did that this past Saturday with Washington. I was waiting to turn this on and be like, Washington wins. Woo! Pac-12 sucks too.
Washington State for me has a good chance.
I think Oregon's loss is coming next week, though.
Really
against Utah.
If they lose, it opens up the playoffs so fucking much.
Dude, there's a bunch of like 2 3, probably not Cincy, but they've been damn near close. There's teams like all throughout the top 10 that you can easily see losing.
That's because the only team that we think is untouchable at this point is Georgia. That's the only team that we see not losing. You can see Alabama,
Georgia.
losing. You can see Cincy losing.
Alabama, like it's a big gap.
Like and the gap between 2 and 3 is not that big.
I think Alabama is damn near untouchable, except by Georgia.
And Texas A&M.
Okay. Time out. Let me ask you.
Yeah, they almost lost to LSU, man. Calm the fuck down.
Yeah, I know, but they won, so weird. Georgia
Style points don't matter. Ask Cincinnati. They do matter.
Ask Alabama.
Oklahoma, they're still 8. They won half the season by a touchdown.
Alabama could win every game by 1, and they'll still be ranked 1.
If Alabama loses to Georgia in the SEC championship, is Alabama out with 2 losses, both to Georgia?
Now that would be very hard. I don't know.
They're not both to Georgia. It's A&M in Georgia.
I would
stop forgetting about A&M beating Alabama.
My bad. You're right.
Correct,
right.
But like
Alabama done that like 3 times.
Like if they did lose to Georgia, they would have a decent leg to stand on if Texas A&M continues to win. Like let's say A&M wins out.
Yeah, but A&M
wins out as well.
Undefeated Cincinnati. 2-loss Alabama. Who gets in?
Yeah,
2 loss, 1 loss, no question.
Like
2 loss. How can you justify that? You're going to tell me a team
it's going to be the biggest argument in arguments ever.
And I can make that argument right now. I don't know what side I'd be on.
Me either. That's what I don't.
So wait.
Like
with that argument, why do at least it's just me. I don't know if anybody actually agrees with what I've been spouting about Texas A&M. Why are we talking about the opportunity for Texas A&M to make it into the playoffs with 2 losses and just shit down Alabama's throat that they are 100% out with 2 losses?
Because we're saying it. Because if they lose,
fair.
Good point.
No,
is it recency? That would be recency. Then.
If they lose. Because if they don't make the SEC championship,
that's why.
That's why
they wouldn't be in the.
Because A&M would be in if they went out and they would lose 1 more.
Oh my god, that would make me so happy to watch A&M
play Georgia.
Try and play Georgia.
You'd have to get an A&M Johnny Manziel jersey.
If A&M does that, A&M is in, right?
Oh yeah, if A&M goes to the SEC championship game, they have to be because they take down 1 and 2.
Okay, but so so then who's out?
Georgia stays in. Georgia would stay in.
To 2, or are you going to go 1?
Not to 2. I wouldn't say to 2.
Georgia is probably
if we get your picture, A&M goes and plays Georgia in the SEC championship. Georgia's only losses to A&M. A&M gets in. Are you knocking Georgia down at all from 1? If not, then you have a rematch again because A&M would probably be 4.
Georgia could definitely.
I'm taking out the Big 12 team.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
that's what I'm saying.
Would you drop Georgia? Because if that happens, A&M would probably be 4. Correct?
Okay, so let's put this in perspective.
A&M would sneak in and get 4.
I would only drop them past A&M. I would only drop them past 1 if literally Ohio State won out, because Ohio State's resume would stand above all of them.
What if Michigan runs out? The resume is the same.
Correct. So then, if one of the Big Ten teams wins out, they would be the one. If like an A&M flew out of nowhere.
But because if you didn't, you would then assume A&M would be 4 because they haven't been in there. They would just sneak in at.
No,
4.
they'd have to. But the thing is
am I right? Am I right? A&M would be 4. And Georgia would be 1. You're not going to go do that rematch again.
Yeah, Georgia would be 2. The Big Ten team that wins out would be 1. And then 3 would probably be either Oregon or Cincinnati.
I'm talking about this hypothetical like I think A&M has a chance to beat Georgia, by the way.
What if they – I know.
What if they did? That would be a low-scoring game from hell, though.
Yeah.
Both of those defenses
Field goals to go to the playoff.
Field goals to go to the playoffs. I love it. We have been going for almost 90 minutes, which is, I think, the longest we generally go. How do you guys feel after that? First, there's Bright Boy again.
Feel great.
What the fuck? I hate this shit, dude.
I love how we always end this
Clemson
show
plays
on a
UConn
laugh.
this week.
What?
What was that? What?
UConn plays Clemson this week.
What the fuck are you talking about? We're talking about UConn and Clemson? What is this,
You're
basketball?
really talking about the dog shit of the dog shit of
Red's 41.5 to Clemson.
And that's not even the biggest spread of the weekend.
Give me the Huskies.
Yeah, to get buried out back like old Yeller. I take Clemson still.
Yeah, you might be right. All right, that's it.
I didn't mention it at the top of the show. I'm going to mention it right now. This Sunday, we are going to be recording at Thirsties. It's going to be me and T-Bone. Keith, if you want to show up, you can show on up if you want to as well. If you got nothing going on before the Packer game on Sunday.
Fucking kills me nowadays.
Well, you like talking about it, and you keep coming back for more.
No,
you're welcome to join us, as is any of my other co-hosts that have been on here before. Thirsties in South Milwaukee on Sunday at 2:00. What?
I'm invited.
Got so excited.
Okay, bye.
There you go.
They're going to have multiple specials going on at Thirsties, but we will be recording at 2:00. We're getting there at 1:30 to set up. There'll be trivia questions for free booze. The Miller Lite girls will be there. They have multiple drink deals. They have Bloody Marys. They have bucket specials. I'm not going to say any of the prices because if I'm wrong, apparently I have to pay the difference because T-Bone is an asshole.
Well, that makes sense. Like, don't tell the people the wrong thing.
That's true. That's why I didn't say the price this time. But that's Thursdays in South Milwaukee, Sunday at 2:00 before the Seattle Green Bay game with a lot of implications of, is Rodgers going to play? Is Wilson going to play? There's a lot of question marks sitting around there. Will OBJ be part of the Green Bay Packers at that point? There's a lot of questions to be asked.
Russell, I believe, has been cleared to play, to my understanding.
I have seen that. And David Bakhtiari is cleared to play as well.
Jair was at practice. Bakhtiari's cleared to practice to play.
Chris Carson might come back too.
Chris Carson as
Carson
well
might be back. Tevin King didn't look like a decrepit old shit last game. That was cool. The Smith, Za'Darius, is supposed to be able to come back.
Holy shit, this many people coming back in one game?
Right after they put up probably their best defensive performance of the year. Wild.
Right.
And Devondre Campbell, NFC Defensive Player of the Month.
Jesus Christ.
My boy.
T-Bone, give him the socials.
We are at MV3 Pod at Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, Facebook, I believe has changed.
Apple.
Yes.
Apple.
Yep, you can find us MV3 Pod on Apple, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify.
Did you ever do that TikTok?
Or SoundCloud Raptors.
We
didn't hit our goal.
We haven't hit it yet, so
we didn't hit the goal. You got to get 10 likes on one video.
Which
I'm not doing cumulative. It could still happen. Go back last week. 2 episodes ago. Go like that video. You only need 3 more. Go like the video.
No, don't do that. Just decline that. But yeah.
But
those are our socials.
Decline that.
Drop a follow. Drop a follow. If you tweet me something funny, maybe I follow you. If you tweet me something fucked up about Michigan, I block you.
I mean, Michigan sucks ass. You're not going to block me.
I could block Kyle Davis on Twitter, no problem.
I mean, it's pretty easy. I don't use my Twitter.
I know. Block.
That's an easy block.
Block.
But this has been MV3. I'm Kyle. That's Keith. That's T-Bone. We'll talk to you guys soon. See you Sunday.
Deuces.
Only thing with the White Sox, I say they've been coasting into the playoffs, and Tampa Bay's been having to win. It just depends on who gets hot.
The Philadelphia Eagles do have an opportunity.
To be honest, I thought you were going to say the Atlanta Falcons.
No, fuck no.
Oh god, yeah, that would have been warranted.
Paul George to show up again, and they need Reggie Jackson to be the best point guard left standing outside of Trae Young, who's hurt.